Hi everyone, Kimba from Angel Readings by Kimba here, and it's another beautiful Thursday night, so we're going to get started. It's 9 o'clock, and we wanted to kind of titrate our times so our beautiful, lovely West Coast friends could join in on with us this time around. So just to give you a little idea, this is my office. Over here, I have to kind of get situated here. Over here is my dad when he was in the nursing home. So God rest his soul. So let's get started. Last week we talked about, I just want to make sure my volume is up. Hi Vera, how are you? So glad you're here. Last week we talked about how to strengthen our psyche and our psychic muscle. And I had given you some homework about basically talking with a partner about sharing numbers 1 through 10. This week and the prior week, we also talked about having a notebook, something like this, in which you get up every morning and you basically write down 3 things that you predict or that you think is going to happen for the day. And from that, at the end of the day, you pretty much would then decide at the end of the day if one of those 3 things happens. So those 2 things were things I had given you as ways of strengthening your psychic muscle. Today I'm going to give you something else. And you can do this really as easily as possible. Hi Stacy, hello, hello. So glad you joined us. Thank you. We just kind of refreshed our memories about the 2 ways I had given you ideas of ways of strengthening your psychic muscle. Today I'm going to give you a 3rd way. And this is basically really simple. It takes an envelope, and if you're good at cutting out shapes, which I confess I'm not, so I apologize, I did a rectangle, I did a heart, a triangle, and a square. And they don't have to be colored. And basically what you do is you have yourself or a partner. It doesn't matter. This is something you can actually do yourself. Hi, Angel. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And you take one of your shapes and have someone put one of the shapes in your envelope. And this is basically an envelope that you can't see through it. And if, say for example, my daughter put the triangle in the envelope, I basically would take the envelope and try to feel what the shape is that's in the envelope. And I would say to my daughter, I feel like this is yellow, I feel like this is orange, I feel like this is a triangle. You're going to get really good at this. So just use primary shapes. In this case, I cut out a square, I cut out a heart, I cut out a rectangle, and I did a triangle. Don't make a million shapes because, hi Bonnie, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Don't make a million shapes because it will frustrate you. But again, this is another great little exercise. As silly as it sounds, it's a great way of strengthening that psychic muscle. So now you have 3 things on your mental dashboard. We've got the notebook, which I hope you're still doing every morning when you're waking up. I hope that you are writing down 3 things, and I hope that's progressing for you. I hope that each week, because now we're in our 3rd week, you are finding, hi Kimberly, how are you? Great name, by the way. My Christian name is Kimberly. So I hope that you're finding that by doing this notebook, you're finding you're getting more check marks. Last week we talked about numbers and getting a partner, numbers 1 through 10, and thinking about and progressing and passing that number along to your partner. So how did that work for you? And then just now I gave you another exercise that I want you to do between now and next week, which is basically just your simple shapes. I did a heart, I did a triangle, a rectangle, and the one that just fell is a black square. Nothing big, nothing extravagant. Have someone, it can be anyone, it could be even your dog if you can train your dog to do that. Hi Hazel Glow, how are you? Put one of those shapes in an envelope, and the envelope has to be a privacy envelope so you can't see. And then have them give you the envelope, and then you try to decide what actually is that shape in the envelope. So that will help you also progress and move along that psychic muscle, because each week I'm going to give you things to do and we're going to hammer away, because as I've always said, being a psychic and a medium is no big secret, and anyone who tells you it is, run, because it's not. It's really not. But it's these little things that we do to develop our psychic intuitive abilities. So now we're going to get into the meaty stuff. How's everyone's week been? I don't know about you, but my week has definitely been, hi Carol, that would be Cooper. My week's been kind of crazy. My electronics have been off the hook. I don't know about you guys, but I'm broadcasting from my office because it seems like my iPad, hi Shirley, hi Tammy, it seems like my iPad, when we went to do Facebook Live, we did a like a test run, it was doing it sideways again. So I thought, you know what, we're just going to do it from the office. But hi Kimberly, yeah, it's been crazy. For whatever it is, as I mentioned last week, we've got 2 planets in retrograde. We've got Pluto, which is all about our inner core, our truths. It's about coming to our inner selves and coming to our own truths and our own lessons. And then we got bad boy Saturn, who only comes around in our life cycles 3 times each person in our life cycles. So bad boy Saturn is also in retrograde. So these 2 are like on a collision course. And for the next 5 months, I will be telling you this is all about karmic retribution. So in its simplest form, if you're a nasty person, or if you know of a nasty person, this next 5-month period, the universe is really going to be nasty to this person, and they're going to get what they deserve. But if you are a person who takes accountability, if you are a person who really tries, the universe knows that, and the universe does recognize that. So you're going to find what you give out, the universe is going to give back to you. So I think this is going to be a really good period for you as well. Hi, Bonnie. Cooper says hi. I know. Did you hear him barking? So with that being said, we have new things, and I want you to keep me posted. DM me throughout the week and let me know if you need help, or if you need, if you're having trouble with those 3 exercises I gave you, because I'm here for you. I believe I got to where I am today in my mediumship and my psychic abilities because of what I say, masters who took me under their wing. And that's what this is about. If we can't help each other and kind of teach each other, then what are we doing, right? That's what this is about. So I am going to start out, other than the homework, get that off to the side. I have 3 questions that I like to pull, because I always think it's interesting for people to learn a little bit more about me. The first question that I have is from Bill from Los Angeles, California. And Bill wants to know, how many years was I a nurse? As most of you know, I was a nurse. I am a nurse because I still keep up my nursing license. He wants to know, how many years was I a nurse? Well, I actually became a nurse in 1990, so therefore, if my math is correct, that makes me 29 years a nurse, going solid strong. I do keep up my nursing license, so actively I still am a nurse. I do hospice on the side, because even though I've left the clinical setting, so to speak, I do like to keep my hands involved in nursing and patient care, so I do volunteer for hospice. Bill's other half of his question was, when did you start your mediumship psychic arena? And that would be 2011. So in basically 2011, I kind of phased out of nursing completely from the clinical setting because I was working for Aetna as a case manager and transitioned into what I'm doing now. So, and if you want to know what I do now, is I do angel cards, tarot cards, and I have sorry, an online store of all angel goodies and novelties. I sell on BigCommerce, Amazon, and Etsy under Angelic Gifts by Kimba. So it was scary. It was scary leaving the nursing field and saying, you know what, I'm going to follow my heart and sell angel gifts. So if I can do it, you can do it. So whatever your passion is, do it, because that's what life is about. So I kind of merged the two. So that was Bill from Los Angeles. So Bill, I salute you and thank you for asking that question. The second question is from Wendy from Altoona, Wisconsin. And I have to laugh because that almost sounds like a sandwich. Hi, Bonnie. Wendy asks, when I meditate, I lose my concentration and my brain wants to review the events of my day. Do you have any suggestions as to how I can refocus my thoughts and get back to my meditation? Girl, I totally can relate to that. Here's what I was taught. I totally can feel you when you say you get into that meditative state and then all of a sudden your brain says, hey, let's just review the events of the day. I totally get that. Here's a real simple trick. When you're starting to meditate and you get into that state and you're calm and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden your brain breaks out into a song, or your brain starts to think about, oh, your checking account, what I want you to do is I want you to think of a red balloon. This is going to sound weird, but just bear with me for a second. Take that thought, your checking account that you just thought of for that quick second, put it in the red balloon, and imagine you just released that to the sky. So pretend your balloon is actually helium, okay? So each time you're meditating, and each time your brain is calm and you're focused, and each time a thought pops into your head that has something that doesn't have anything to do with your meditation, such as your checking account, your kids, did you pack your kids' lunch? Put them all in a red balloon and focus it up and send it up to the sky. And what will happen is, it sounds so weird, you're going to actually retrain your brain, because each time you think a different thought, you're going to be like, I'm going to put this thought in a red balloon, send it up to the sky, and then you're going to go back to your meditation. It's going to take you a while, but once you kind of get back into that routine of refocusing your brain, and that's what you're doing, you're not going to need that red balloon. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, but someone taught me that, and that actually helped me retrain my brain, so when I was in a meditative state, I could stay focused, because my problem, like you, was it wasn't so much getting into the meditative state, but it was staying in that meditative state. So I can totally relate to you, because it's when we're quiet that our brains tend to wander, and I get that. So just pretend you have a red balloon, capture that thought, send it up to the sky. Refocus, go back to your meditation. When your brain wanders, capture that thought, send it up to the sky. It's going to seem like it's very repetitive, but if you can train yourself, it's going to, after 2 or 3 times, you're not going to need the red balloon. Okay? Thank you, Wendy. That's a really good question, as was Bill's. My third question is from Kiera from Queens, New York. She said, I went to a medium psychic who told me I had bad spirits or evil spirits attached to me. Now I'm really afraid to go to any psychics, and she wants me to come back weekly so she can meditate for me. Oh, and by the way, it costs me $60 each week for me to come back. Girl, run. Here's what I was taught. I was taught that truly, truly, a medium with integrity. And I had to think about that for a second as to how to say that, because I really want to be careful that I never, ever slam another person. But a true medium who's reading you and your soul would never, ever say there's anything negative attached to you, let alone tell you you have to come back on a weekly basis so they can meditate for you to get rid of bad spirits. In that situation, I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, that particular person is a con artist, and they're working on your fear factor. So my thoughts are, take away the fear and don't let that be a factor, and don't go back to that person, because a true medium should tell you that they'll read you only once every 3 months, because truly, 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 there's nothing really new or different that a medium could tell you every sooner than three months. And it should always be good juju. It should always be good stuff. Every once in a while when I read people, because I am a nurse, I will see things maybe medically, and I always tell people I'm not a doctor, but this is what I think I'm feeling with you. But for the most part, I never would ever say something like, oh, you have bad spirits attached to you. I just think that's someone playing on your fear factor. So, Kiera, I'm sorry that that happened to you, but there are tons of good mediums out there who would be honored to read you. Just like in any career, there are good people and there are bad people in every career. I'm just sorry you had that bad experience, but a true medium with ethics and good integrity would never do that. So I hope that answered your question. So there are the 3 questions for tonight. Now, people often ask me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sitting on my foot. What are my favorite products from my store? And I have so many different things, but tonight I decided to kind of take a spring approach. I say spring because the weather kind of seems like it's been crazy. I mean, one minute it's really warm, the next minute it seems like it's really cold. And one of my 2 favorite bestsellers are figurines, and they are Flowering Grace and Nature's Blessing. So, sorry, I'm just reaching over here. This particular one is, I'm going to slide back a little bit so you can see her. This is Flowering Grace. Flowering Grace is 12 inches tall. She is $13.99. Her hands are together, so she's praying. And I'm going to actually spin her around a little bit so you can see her. She has butterfly wings, which I love. Those of you that know me know I love butterflies. I love the number 3, and I love tacos. So I particularly just adore her. She is 12 inches tall. One of my favorites, absolute favorites. So this is Flowering Grace. I just kind of chose her for tonight because I thought she was different. Her sister, or so I call her sister, is Nature's Blessing. And Nature's Blessing is 10 inches. So I'll slide up a little bit so you can see her. She is 10 inches tall. She actually is gathering wildflowers in her hands up here. She's a good 10 inches tall. She's not as big. She still has the butterfly wings and just as beautiful. Both of them are resin. I'll spin her around so you can see her. Her dress is just as detailed. Surprisingly, they're light. I would have expected them to be a lot heavier, but they're really not. Beautiful, beautiful, I think light blue. As I mentioned, for those of you who are just joining, I'm losing my color vision due to my diabetes. So I think it is light blue. It might be light green, but I apologize if my coloring is off. and they're both blondes. So if I were to back up and kind of show them to you this way, you can kind of see the size difference. One is 12 inches, one is 10 inches. So both unique in their own way. One is praying and one is gathering wildflowers. I just kind of thought they both were different, something a little unique, and they seem to do really, really well. Now, if you were to ask me, and I'm honest, I'm not going to lie. I did have someone ask me, tell me something that's, a con about your products. One of the things about these particular products that I will tell you is the wings do break very easily. So I would caution you, if you do get this and you have children and or if you have big dogs, do not put this in an area where they can get this because the wings do break. I'll turn it sideways so you can see there's a real thin area here. So, which is easily rectifiable if you have a glue gun. I'm crafty, so I kind of glue everything together, but for those of you that do ask, I will always tell you the pros and the cons of my products, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, because I think that's what makes me real. I won't lie to you, and I won't sell you something that I myself don't like. So, love these, but again, the wings are very soft. They're very, they can break very easily. So, these two are my favorites. Now, let's get into the good stuff, because that's why we all came, right? That's why we're all getting together tonight. You know the full moon's coming up. The full moon is this Saturday, the 18th. And with that being said, the two planets are in retrograde, so it's going to be a crazy time between the full moon, the planets in retrograde, and shit going down. Oh, can I say that? Can I say that with everyone? But I always say, I trust people more that curse that, but if that offends anyone, my deepest apologies. But yeah, stuff's really going to go down with this full moon because of the two planets in retrograde. So I'm here, you're here. I'm just pulling my cards. I have tarot and I have angel cards. And just a quick refresher, tarot cards are all about predicting the future. They're all about what you want to know, life, love, fortune, career. Am I moving? They can also predict on a heavier note. Certain cards, when they're thrown together in a pattern, one right after the other, they can predict physical death. They can also predict stroke and or a potential affair and or divorce. That's why some people don't necessarily like tarot cards. I like them because they're straight shooters. They're pretty, they don't necessarily tell the future, they just kind of tell you what's going on in your life. Some people don't like that. Angel cards, on the other hand, just a refresher, I use the Healing with the Deck angels. They look like this. When you turn them around, they have one word on them. In this particular card, it says healing. The next card says enchantment. I love this card because it's a unicorn. Yes, I believe in unicorns. This card is all about getting back to your inner child, your playfulness, your state of being when, before life took over. This card is upside down. It's about support your angelic team around you. So let's get started. I know you have questions. I know you want a reading. That's why we're here. So hit me up. If anyone has a question, feel free to ask, because I'm here to serve you, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have, that you might want to know of what's going on in your life. Or if you have a question about mediumship, what it's like to be a medium, be a psychic. Is it hard to date? Can I read people's minds? I've had people ask me that, and to answer that question, no, I can't read people's minds, which is kind of funny, because it would be kind of weird if I could. Shirley, I'm looking off to the right, just so you know, I'm looking at the thread of what everyone's writing. Shirley says, will I find my soulmate? So, Shirley, I'm going to flip a couple cards for you. And we have a lot to do tonight. So I hope you have your coffee, your tea, whatever your drink is of choice. I've got my water and my Mio because last time we went on for an hour and a half, which I love because I could do this forever. Oh, while I'm shuffling the cards, before I forget, September 7th is the Phoenixville Psychics Best Fair. I will be there in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. So, just want to throw that out. Shirley, you were asking if you will find your soulmate. Okay, I flipped some tarot cards, and then I'm going to flip some angel cards and merge the two. What I pulled out was this. I pulled this card out first, which is the Five of Swords. And nothing's bad about this, but this just basically tells me, and I'm always going to tell you what the cards mean, because I think that's really important. This basically tells me, sorry, I'm just popping my pen down. This tells me there were two relationships recently that you had that basically they walked away from you. They kind of left you high and dry. Not a bad thing. We've all been there. Almost like you had it all. And here's where I'm going with that. Here you are in the card. Here you are. And here, see how you have three swords? That's kind of like you had everything. The swords could mean, if I were to interpret them in my way, sex, finances, and maybe you guys got along compatibly. But if you notice, there are two swords that are on the ground over here. So that tells me you didn't have everything. Maybe spirituality was missing. Maybe the fact that there were some issues with your relationships in terms of extended family. You know, mother-in-laws can sometimes be a problem. So this tells me in your past, Shirley, there were issues with past loves. And here they are, right here. One. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble looking at it this way. 1 and 2. Not a bad thing. Will you find your soulmate? Absolutely. Because when I cut, this is going to sound weird, but bear with me. When I cut into the angel cards, this is what I get. I'm going to see if I can cut the glare here. Guardian angel. Guardian angel is all about your angelic team. It's all about your grandmom, your grandfather, your aunts, your uncles who are already crossed over, who are already watching out for you. And as soon as I touch this card, I want to point the card out to you first, and then I'm going to tell you what it means. Here you are. Here you are. Here's your guardian angel, right? So that tells me you're still looking for your soulmate, as we all are. Most of us, I should say. I'm with you, girlfriend. I feel you because I'm right there with you, Shirley. I want to point out your grandmother, mother's with you. She's watching out for you, and I believe she's going to be the one that brings your soulmate to you. And I'm also going to say I'm feeling a very strong Baptist feel. I don't know why. I say Baptist because I'm feeling like I'm being dumped. And when I'm being dumped, that to me indicates a Baptist faith. So I have to ask you, Shirley, do you have a Baptist background? Is there a Baptist background in your faith, if that makes any sense? Because I feel like there's going to come a point where you actually come back and meet this guy through church. As weird as that sounds, but I feel like it's going to be a connection, and your grandmom, your mother's mother, is going to be the one who kind of connects you to. So yes, you are going to find your soulmate. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Thank you for joining. Kimberly, it has been hard. I totally agree. I'm telling you, my electronics have just been off the hook. If anyone else has a question, please don't be shy. I won't say your name if you don't want me to say your name. Just say, I have a question. Please don't say my name. I'll get it. While I'm waiting for someone else to ask me a question, there's something else I want to talk about because I think this is really important. Full moons. Full moons to me are so important. And I keep looking because I want to make sure if someone asks a question, I get that. And Shirley, please let me know if I answered your question well enough, because if I didn't, I'll be happy to elaborate. Full moons to me are a perfect time to be able to start over. Full moons come around once a month, and it's such a great time to kind of release everything and all the screw-ups that we did the past month. Does that make sense? So, with the full moon coming up this Saturday, which is, I'm looking at my calendar, the 18th. The perfect thing about this full moon is it's the perfect time to basically release anything, any screw-ups, any fuck-ups, anything that we've done wrong this past month and say, you know what? I give it to the universe. I'm starting over. That's the great thing about full moons. I love the full moons. If I could find my cell phone, I'll show you. I actually have on my back the phases of the moon, because each of the moon phases, I actually do intentions. Intentions are basically what you want from the universe. Your thoughts are so powerful that if you hung with me long enough, you'd never think a negative thought about yourself ever again, because half of our thoughts are generated by our subconscious. So it's so important that you keep them clean. It's so important that you keep them positive. So, like Shirley, for instance, I want to encourage you, if you want your soulmate, wake up every day and tell the universe, I'm ready for my soulmate. Bring them on. I'm ready. I tell my kids every other day, my soulmate's right around the corner. And my kids are like, Mom, we're so sick and tired of hearing about this. But it's true. Part of it is you have to actually believe it. So, with the full moon, intentions are what you basically are telling the universe. My intention is that I want my soulmate. And I also tell the universe what I want in a soulmate. I want him to be sexy. I want him to be romantic. I want him to be financially secure. You get the idea. So your intention is personal to you. It could be anything from wanting a job. It could be anything from wanting a family member to be healed. It could be anything from wanting a new car. It could be from, you get the idea. So I want to show you something that I do, that I love, and it's called a honey jar. And the reason why it's a honey jar is because honey is all about being sweet, but it's also a notification to the universe that you're ready. It's all about letting the universe know you're ready, you're willing, you're open, bring it on. So what I did is I made a honey jar February 13th, and I always date mine. I always date my honey jars. And it looks like this when it's done. So I'm going to show you step by step and show you how to make a honey jar. And it's the perfect time to do it now because the full moon is coming up. And when the full moon comes up, that's usually when things manifest. That's usually when our intentions that we've thrown out, what we want, in other words, to the universe, comes to fruition. We also do this around the new moons, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it whenever you want. I personally like to do it around the full moon because, I'll tell you why. The full moon to me is the time when the moon is the fullest, but it's also the time where I'm the most reflective, and I look back on the past month and I'm like, geez, I really screwed up a lot this month. But I love the full moon because once it's full, what does it do? It becomes small again, so it starts over. So I'm going to show you how to do a honey jar. They're beautiful. It'll look like this when you're done. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. I have to say, my glasses are actually kids. My face was so small. The glasses nowadays are huge in Pearl Vision. So you're going to get a jar. I went to AC Moore, any of your craft stores, get a small mason jar. This is a 2-inch jar. And what you're going to do is get the smallest mason jar they have. So to show you, it looks like this. This is basically your 3-inch. I'm sorry, almost 4-inch. Sorry. So you're going to get the smallest one, and it's basically yay wide. Okay. So it's maybe am I doing that wrong for you? I apologize. So it's about 2 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so you want to get the smallest one. And the reason why you want the smallest one is because this bad boy is going to go on your windowsill when you're done. So now that you have your jar, you're basically going to get little pieces of cut paper that look like this. Now what I did with mine, as you can see, is I actually typed what I wanted. I typed mine on Microsoft Word. So if you don't want to do paper, this is just a 3x5 index card that I cut up. My intention jar, in case you want to know, because I have nothing to hide, is, as most of you know, is I'm looking for my soulmate. So I wrote down on pieces of paper what constituted my soulmate. I want him to be attractive. I want him to be financially secure. I want him to love my kids. I want him to understand the fact that I'm a medium psychic. A lot of guys that I meet, as soon as they hear I'm a medium psychic, they're like, no. So he has to be spiritual, and he has to understand that. You get the idea. So once you pick what your intention is, whether it's career, and be specific. The universe wants to hear specifically what you want. Your angels want to hear specifically. They don't want to hear, I just want a career. They want to know, I want a career, I want X amount of money, I want to be a supervisor. Don't be afraid to even spell out salary. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. It's no different than when you're talking to a friend. So now that you have your jar and you have your pieces of paper and you've written down what it is you want from that intention, and I'm going to go back to me, because as you know, I'll never talk about anyone else, but I'll always dispel me. This is my soulmate jar. So I wrote on pieces of paper what I wanted from my soulmate. I wanted him to be sexy. That's big. I wanted him to have chemistry with me. I wanted him to have humor. I'm trying to think of what else I put. I wanted him to have PDA. That's important to me. I want a guy to have PDA. So you get the idea. So once you have your jar, once you've written on your pieces of paper, put your paper in the jar. Okay, put your paper in the jar. Then you're going to add a cinnamon stick. Nothing but a just plain cinnamon stick. That goes in your jar. Boom, just like that. Okay, no big secret. Then you're going to take a flower, and in this case, I just picked a yellow. I think it's a daisy. I'm not sure. And you're going to take the petals. Now, if you really want to be cool, you could do rose petals. My problem is with these jars, rose petals don't fit. Technically, you're supposed to do rose petals, but these jars are so tiny, rose petals just don't fit. And take the petals of the flowers and put them in the jar. So it'll look like this, okay? Put as much as you want. Now this is a craft. It's supposed to be fun. You're doing this to the universe. So you can make it as pretty, as colorful as you want, okay? Once you've done that, so you're with me so far. We have the jar. We have the you have your intention, you have your intention, what it is you want. You have your jar, your pieces of paper with what you want specifically from the universe in the jar. You have your cinnamon stick. You're going to put a teaspoon of sugar, and I forgot to bring sugar up to the office, I'm sorry. A teaspoon of sugar, white sugar, goes in here. Then, voila, you're almost done. Because I'm all girl, I'm girly. Hi Jen, how are you? Hi Pina. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. I added, I don't know if you can see on mine, glitter, because I'm just girly, so I thought you can be as artistic as you want. I added glitter to mine because I'm like, girls, I just want to sparkle. I just want the universe to see I'm sparkling away. I added glitter to mine. Then you're going to add honey. Good old pure honey. Pure and simple honey. And you're going to fill up that bad boy jar. That's it. That is your honey jar. You're going to put the lid on. Voila. And you're going to date it. Boom. That is your honey jar. And then all you're going to do is put it on your windowsill. And basically, each month that goes by, just I have 4 and 5 honey jars going at a time. And I'll tell you what they are. This one is to attract my soulmate. Honey does what? It attracts bees, but it's also sweet. It's that age-old expression. You can attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Same thing. You want the universe to know, hey, this is what I want. Bring it on, right? So same thing. This is a honey jar. It's so simple. It's so fun. This is my soulmate jar. I want my soulmate to manifest. I want him to come forward into my life. I have one also for my job. Being a psychic medium, I kind of tweaked it a little bit. It's basically, I think I've got a penny from like 1933 because I love the number 3. I have sugar in the bottom. I have my white pieces of paper in which I wrote specifically what I wanted. Like for this year, I think I wanted a 50% increase in sales, online sales. I wanted to be able to do bioenergy, which I'm now doing. I wanted to do at least 3 readings a week. I mean, I'm really specific with the universe with what I want. And so far, I'm nailing it. I did add glitter to I think I added green glitter to mine. And then I found a $2 bill and I shredded that. Instead of putting a flower in it, I put a shredded $2 bill. So you can be as creative as you want. So I've got a career one, I've got a soulmate one, I have another one. My third one, I think, is a healing jar. And that's, we all can heal. I don't know about you guys. Hi, Laura, how are you? I don't know about you guys, but we all can heal because don't we all carry shit from our childhood into adulthood? And then if we don't stop that cycle, it just repeats. So these are honey jars. They're fantastic. They're beautiful. This one, I think, at one point, I think I'd used some sort of like small purple flower. But this was really colorful at one point. When I shake it up, you can see how it's real glittery. So it's really kind of cool. So this is my soulmate jar. And then always make sure you date it, because what you want to do is when it comes to fruition and the universe has blessed you with whatever it is that your intention was, always thank the universe, and then you can dispose of it. Some people say you should bury it in your backyard. Me, I'm more old school, where I'm like, empty it out and recycle. But everybody has their own style. Hi, Jen. Hi, Laura. Hi, Pina, Bonnie, Carol. Hi, Eddie. So that's a little bit about honey jars. So full moon is coming up. This is the perfect time to do a intention honey jar. And I can recap that towards the end of the night. So if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants me to do any readings, let me know. Throw me a question. I'll be happy to do it for you. That's why we're here. If you have any questions about what it's like to be a medium, I get that. I guess the question I get the most is, why did I leave nursing and go into this? And you know, it's funny because I think the two kind of correlate in being a nurse. Hi, Claritza. I think in being a nurse, you almost have to be intuitive. But I always say we're all very intuitive. Really, when you think about it, we're all very intuitive. Hi, Rose. How are you? We all have the ability. It's no secret. And if you hang with me each week, you will learn, because now I'm on YouTube. I'm going to teach you what I know because it's no big secret. And if you're interested in learning tarot, let me know. I will be happy to teach you one-on-one tarot. I do charge for that because to a degree, we're doing this to help others, but this is also my career. So if you are interested in learning tarot, it is a 5-week class. I do give you the material, but I will FaceTime you each time. It's a 2-week session, 5 weeks. By the time you're done tarot, your mind will be blown and you will know tarot like the back of your hand. I do that more one-on-one because I find it's more personable, you know, for people who like tarot because it is one-on-one and they just like that one-on-one attention. So, hi, Kimberly. So, just something to think about. Hi, John. Thank you for joining. Andy, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, just a quick recap since no one, hi, Martha. Since no one is basically asking me any questions for cards, you know, because I'm here to answer any questions if you want me to flip some cards for you. Just a quick recap about, for those of you that just joined, I'm going to basically recap what we started with tonight. So in the beginning, 3 weeks ago, I gave you a homework assignment. And that homework assignment was basically, because I've always said being a medium is no secret. It's not anything that makes me any more special than you. I am just on the same level as you. In fact, I bow to you because we're all different. We all have special talents. So if you can teach me something and I can teach you something, then hey, that's what we're in this for, right? Okay, so hi, Brenda. So here we go. 3 weeks ago, I taught you, take a notebook, keep it by your bedside. When you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do? That's right. 3 things you're going to write in the notebook. 3 things that you think are going to happen that morning or that day that you predict. And then that night when you go to bed, you're going to put a check mark next to what actually happened. What you predicted came true. And then each week, you're going to see actually more and more check marks. That's one way of strengthening your psychic muscle. Last week we talked about, hi Brandy, hello, hello. Last week we talked about homework assignment number 2, finding a partner, and basically sitting across from them and using the numbers 1 through 10 and closing your eyes and saying to that person, I'm sending you the number, and you actually thinking of a number between 1 and 10 and actually trying to mentally telepathy send them that number. And I told you, take your time. When you're receiving that number, go down the list in your mind. Does it feel like a 1 that is washing over me? Does it feel like a 2? Does it feel like a 3? Does it feel like a, take your time. Don't guess. That was last week. This week, homework assignment I gave you was really simple but fun. I mean, it's all about strengthening your psychic muscle. You take an envelope, has to be a privacy envelope because it has to be something you can't see through. And you're just going to take simple shapes. In this particular case, sorry, my square fell. I'm such a square. In this particular case, hi Lee, I have a square, I have a heart, I have a triangle. That's a pretty bad triangle, isn't it? Hey, I didn't say I was an art student. and I have a rectangle. And what you do is you have someone, your partner, whoever helped you last week with the numbers game, put one of these in your envelope, and then they hand you the envelope. And you take the envelope, and you can't feel the envelope, no cheating, and you hold the envelope and you try to feel the shape. Do I feel like a heart? Do I feel like a rectangle? This is how you strengthen that psychic muscle. Does it sound weird? Sure, it sounds weird. But you know what? We all had to start out somewhere, right? So let me know how that works out for you, okay? So that's your third week's homework assignment. Hazel Glow, you believe in unicorns too? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you do. I love unicorns. Hey, I'm hoping Starbucks comes back with that unicorn frappe that they had last time. Hi Colleen, how are you? Laura, you're asking, do our loved ones hear us when we talk? Absolutely. Yes, they absolutely do. I was born and raised Catholic, so I was always very saddened when we were taught, hey, when your loved ones die, heaven is way up there and hell is way down there. I can assure you heaven and hell are right here on earth, because we wouldn't have the atrocities that man is doing to our fellow man right here on earth. I mean, it's just horrible. But yes, I do believe, excuse me, I'm sorry, I thought I was done. I do believe that our loved ones can hear us. I also know, as a nurse, did you know that when a person is actively dying, the last of the senses to go is hearing, which is why a lot of times nurses will come into a room and say to family, talk to them, because they can actually hear you. Now, that being said, as most of you know, my father passed away in February. I talk to him all the time. As of yet, I'm so sorry, it's my allergies. He hasn't shown himself yet, and I haven't heard him, but I do in my mind's eye see him completely as a younger person. And I do kind of communicate when I meditate with him. It's kind of different because it's more like mind-to-mind telepathy, but I do believe they hear us, absolutely. And I believe they're with us, because there's so many times where I'll be thinking about my dad. I posted the other day on my Facebook wall, one of my dad's last dying requests before he went nonverbal was Christmas was his favorite holiday, and he asked that I keep up the Christmas tree all year round. And I'm thinking, how am I going to decorate this tree all year round? So I found small flags, and I was putting the flags in the Christmas tree. I have the photo on my wall. And I actually started crying, because it just, how do you? And while I was crying, my girlfriend, out of the blue, called me. So I do believe, because I was saying to my dad, Dad, show me a sign that you're here. Show me a sign that you know that I'm doing this for you. And my girlfriend called me, and she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm crying. I'm doing an ugly cry, and I'm putting flags in my Christmas tree for my dad. And it was almost like her calling was my dad's way of letting me know he knew what I was doing. So I do believe that. And I do believe the more you talk to them, the more signs they will show you that they're there, they're around. So I do believe that, Laura. Brenda says, will love be in a relationship? I do believe that you will be in a relationship, Brenda. I think love is right around the corner from you. In fact, I think that's what your question is, Brenda. Will love one in a relationship? Brenda, could you just clarify your question? I'm not quite sure what your question is. I think you're asking if you're going to be in a relationship. Brandy says, I would love to know if I will find love soon or if an ex-love. Brandy, so I think what you're asking by your question is if you'll find a new love soon or will you fall in love with your ex again? I just need a little clarification on that. For Brandy, I do feel like you're going to find a completely new love soon. And your new love, I think, has already been hitting you up at work. And when I say hitting you up, I'm referring to this person has been bringing you coffee, and it's been more of a platonic type of thing because he's trying to get your attention. If you could validate that for me, that'd be fantastic. But I feel like, Brandy, you have two guys on the horizon. One, yes, is an ex who's willing to come back if you kind of open the door for him, so to speak. And then I feel like this new love is at work who's trying to get your attention, but he's kind of shy about just jumping in because I feel like he kind of knows the ex is somewhat in the picture, if that makes any sense. And I'm just scrolling down here to see if there's someone else. Okay. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Beverly. How are you? Okay. Beverly says, I was wondering if you can tell me anything about my financial future. Beverly, yes, I think your financial future is going to get better. Okay. I pulled the Two of Swords. Here's the Two of Swords. And what I like about the Two of Swords is, if you notice, I'm going to go, if you notice with the Two of Swords, she is blindfolded, but she's holding two swords like this. So with the Two of Swords, it's almost like if she would let go of the swords like this, she could take away the blindfold that's blindfolding her. Does that make sense? So I feel like almost your question about finances is almost, and I get this, self-induced in the sense that part of it is we as women don't always know how to invest. I didn't know how to invest. I mean, when my divorce hit, I was kind of like, what am I doing? I get it. I totally get it. With this, I feel like if you could somehow take like a evening class at your high school, you know how like where I live, my local high school does evening community classes. If you could take like a finance course really quick where they just teach you stocks and commodities, I think that would really help you out because, yeah, I think it would improve your situation. I don't know if that answered your question, but if you could validate for me, if your local public high school does community adult classes, I think that would help you out. Let me know if that makes sense, Beverly. But yes, I do think it will get better. Hi, Shirley. Shirley is asking anything about her financial future. Shirley, you know, it's funny because I don't even need to touch the cards. And I feel like with you, I feel like I'm kind of looking at you like, girl, are you, I'm stuttering because it's like, are you planning on changing jobs? Because I see a job change coming up. Either job change and or promotion. Like, I can't figure out which. And anyone who's ever been read by me knows, I will caveat, I don't know. Because I'm getting mixed signals. It's like they're crossed. I don't know if you're changing jobs and or if you're getting a promotion. I'm kind of confused. But yes, it's all good. It's definitely all good. And it's going to be more money. Hi, Gail. How are you? Gail, you want to know about your future. Interesting. And I say interesting because I feel like by August, by the time the sunflowers are full and in bloom, and that's August. That's usually when the sunflowers are their fullest. I feel like you're moving. And I'm seeing like the shore, bodies of water. So, Gail, I don't know if you're thinking about moving, but I'm seeing a move come up for you. And they're saying here, not there. So I don't know what that means. I don't know where you are currently located, but I feel like you're moving here, not there. So I have to ask you, Gail, are you local? Are you, like, I'm in Philly, so are you by me or by an ocean? Because I feel like you're going to be there by a body of water, like Jersey, like I would say Jersey. Hi Kim, hi Vera. Vera, yes, make a honey jar. Make a honey jar, Vera. I would recommend for you, Vera, your honey jar should be business, career. When I say business, I mean career. And put a couple pennies in it. Put a couple of dimes in it. You know, come on, we want to make money. Kim is asking, is your family going to be okay? You know, Kim, I think we always worry about our families. It's hardwired into us as women. I think your family is going to be okay. I have to ask you, do you have 3 kids? If you could validate that for me, that would help me out, because I feel like your middle child is the one that you worry the most about. And it's not a bad thing. I just feel like at times your middle child needs a little bit more guidance to kind of stay on track, if that makes any sense. Just if you could validate that for me, that would kind of help me out. Okay, Beverly says, I would love a general reading of financials. So you want to know about finances, don't we all? I get it. Finances for you. I feel like I'm being told, like they're saying, if, and I say if you haven't already invested, because I feel like you already have, it'll be a good investment, but make sure you check on the dotted line that you've signed everything and you've looked everything over before you actually sign on that investment. So, for example, if you've opened up a CD or if you've signed for a stock, make sure you've looked over all the ins and outs of that contract before you sign it. But I think it will be beneficial for you. Particularly in a couple of years, I don't think your net yield will be right away, if that makes any sense. Make sure everything is signed. All the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Audie says, I dream or have thoughts about people and places, then they come into my life within a few days. Why am I doing this? Oh, that's a really good one. And there's names I'm hearing in my thoughts. How can I figure out who the message is for? Okay, so Audie, I would say, in my guess, there are 2 types of people. There are mediums, who is what I am. We are very good at connecting with the spirit world or the angels that have crossed over. And then there are psychics. Psychics are those that are really, really good at predicting the future. They are the people who can pretty much wake up and say, hey, I think Kimba's going to call me today. And then later on that day, I call you and you're like, damn, girl, I knew you were going to call me. So you're either one or the other, okay? It's kind of like when we were in elementary school, we either were really good at math or really good at art. But it was rare that, you know, you found someone that was great at both. So it's not a bad thing. If you know what you're good at, if you know you're really good at being a medium or you're really good at being a psychic, you can develop the other side of the house. For example, I'm really good at being a medium. I'm not as good at being a psychic. That's not a bad thing. You know, it takes a strong person to know your weaknesses. Why? Because then what you do is you work on them and you strengthen them. You hone in on them. So what do? I flip tarot cards. What do? I play with Ouija boards. Yeah, that's right. I play with crystal balls. I play with tea leaves. Just like if you're not good at math, what are you going to do? You're going to work on math problems. You're going to get a math tutor. You're going to do things on the internet to kind of test your math skills. Same thing, right? So Audie, to answer your question about dreams and thoughts of people, places before it's actually happened, I believe, based on what you're saying, you're more of a psychic, because those are traits of a psychic. And I think that's phenomenal. You can actually develop those traits by the homework that I gave you guys, which was, I don't know if you came into the session late. 3 weeks ago, I told you keep a notebook by your bedside. Write 3 things in the morning before you even get out of bed. 3 things that are tangible. I think my supervisor is going to wear a purple top today. I think I will come home from work by 5:55. Like, be specific. Don't be afraid to you know, you get what I'm saying. The second thing we talked about last week was get a partner and talk about numbers, and try to guess the other person's number, okay? And then this week I gave you for homework the envelope and the shapes, and have your partner, your same partner, put one shape in the envelope, and then they hand you the envelope, and you have to guess what is that shape in the envelope. Start out with only 4 shapes, because if you do too many, it's just like a mind fuck. Can I say that? Can I say that with you guys? You have too many shapes. It just kind of, it blows your mind, you know. So you want to keep it small at first until you get really good at it. Then add on more shapes. Because what you want to do is about building blocks and building up so you're good, not frustrating yourself so you're like, I can't do this, okay? So Audie, I think you're a psychic. That's just my opinion. You probably would know better than me because you know yourself. You know, are you the type of person that's like, hey, I know my grandmom's going to call, and then your grandmom calls? Are you the type of person that's like, I got a bad feeling about Mexico, and then boom, there's an earthquake? That's a trait of a psychic. So names that you're hearing in your thoughts, you're not crazy. Let me just caveat that, because a lot of people will try to say, oh, she's crazy. You're not crazy. It's basically your angels trying to tell you things. Listen to it. Pay attention to it the first time around. Let me know how that works out for you. Charmaine Richards, hello. What can I tell you about your future? You know, with you, I have to say, I don't know, but I feel like there's a dog coming into your life. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but I feel like this is a rescue. And I don't know if you have anything to do with rescues, but I feel like this is coming up fast and furious for you. Hazel Glow. So you want to know if you will find love this year. I'm right there with you, girlfriend. So we're going to keep each other in line here. Hazel Glow, I want you to do a honey jar, okay? Let me know if you need me to go over this again, okay? Because this is going to help you attract and make sure you date it. This is going to help you bring your soulmate, your love, to you. It's not going to be right away, but it is putting it out to the universe. This is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what I will, I demand, kind of, in a man. It's kind of like when you go to the drive-thru of a restaurant and you want a hamburger, right? You tell them what you want. I want a hamburger, no pickles. I want ketchup. I want no onions. Same thing. Don't be afraid to tell the universe specifically what you want. Our problems before is we settled, right? Yeah, we did. We settled. Hi, Lakeisha. How are you? Yes, you will find love soon. How do I know that? Right here. The star. Because Lakeisha, this is also what we call the California card. And just so you know, I'm going to pull this up. This is my tarot deck. So it's not like, you know, it's just kind of bundled up here on the side. This is the star. We call this the California card. Hence, here she's taking water from the lake and pouring it back into the earth, which is so important because I feel like whoever you wind up with is going to be a very giving person. The person is going to be very into charities. And I think that's really important because I think that's going to balance you out. I don't know you that well, but I feel like, Lakeisha, that's a part of you. And I would have to say, based on this card, I feel like, sorry, I'm just grabbing it again. I feel like you are also in healthcare. So if you could validate that for me, I'd love that. But I feel like you're either a nurse, a nurse's aide, a technician, something to do in the medical field. And I feel like you are already in the spirit of giving. Let's face it, we're women. It's hardwired into our natures. We give, 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 give. But I also feel like that's part of your career, and that's going to be what attracts him to you or you to him. Okay, so Lakeisha, keep me posted on that. Hello, Sandra. Hi, Sally. Hi, Brandy. Diane, how are you? Diane, I'm coughing as I say that because I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, you found another job after we met at the Gap. I'm so excited. And you're going to another store. Will it be a good move? And it's funny because I'm kind of looking off to the wayside. The store, I have to almost say, is this store going to be like, I'm seeing like King of Prussia. So I have to ask you, Diana, is this store like not, it's not local. It's kind of a little bit of a drive. But yeah, I feel like it will be good because I feel like it's going to put you in the upper echelon of supervisory positioning, if that makes any sense. So Diane, keep me posted on that. Hi, Nancy. Nancy Gonzalez. I'm clarifying because there's a couple of Nancys. Will you ever have a baby? I believe that you will, but I believe it's going to take at least 2 or 3 years. It's going to take a little while. How do I know that? I feel like right now there's a lot of struggle going on around you. Not a bad thing. We all have it. But I feel like this is more work related. And when I say work related, I think the struggle is, it's just you can't find any time to relax. It's like it's a busy time at work, a lot of shit going on. Can I say that? Can I curse with you guys? Can I just get that on the table? I just feel like there's so much going on at work, it's hard to relax. And it seems like there's hardly any time to take off. And in doing so, someone once said to me, it's never a good time to have a baby. And it's so true, because you're never going to have enough money. Your house will never be big enough. But you know what? You decide you're going to do it, you make it work. So with that being said, yes, I do think you will, but I think it will be, it's 2019 right now this year. I think it'll be like 2021 when you have it, and I think it'll be a boy first. So do keep me posted, because I'm happy for you, but I also think you'll be more financially set up when he comes. You'll be more ready, if that makes any sense. Do keep me posted. Hi, Trish. Trish, you're asking if you'll have a good relationship with your brother like you used to have. You know, as soon as I read that, what jumps out at me is I feel like there's someone blocking you and your brother. And I have to almost ask, is there a sister-in-law involved? And I say that with the utmost of respect because families can be so complicated. I get it. I totally get it more than you know. But I feel like he feels like there's more of an allegiance to her right now. He loves you more than anything in this world. But I feel like she's the block. Love him from a distance. Let him know that you're there unconditionally. And just kind of wait it out and see where that relationship goes. Okay? Because I think at some point in time, he's going to need you. I don't know, and I'm going to caveat, where his relationship will go with her, because I don't know. I'm not God. But I think he's going to need you and your ear, and that's going to bring you back together again, okay? Do keep me posted. Everyone, direct message me on Facebook because I love hearing back from you. Hi, Willie. Oh, have a good night, too. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Kathy, Dennis. Your love life. We all want to know about our love lives. Kathy, I want you to do a honey jar, okay? I'm not selling these because this is something you can do. And I'm going to go over this before I sign off tonight. It's basically what you do is, for those of you who joined a little bit late, you get a jar. This particularly is a 4-inch mason jar. You get it from any craft store, any arts and crafts store. You get pieces of paper and you make an intention. My intention was I want a soulmate. I want to attract my soulmate. I was married before. I married the wrong man, but I had the 2 most fantastic kids in the world. And my ex-husband and I are co-parenting at this point. So I'm grateful for that. And he's a good father to my kids. So I'm grateful. I truly am. But he's not my soulmate. So you're going to write down your intention. My intention was finding a soulmate. You could write down whatever you want. Do you want a business, career? Do you want to move? Whatever's on your heart. Write it down and be specific. Put it in your jar. Put a teaspoon of sugar. I added glitter to mine. See the glitter? You're going to add a cinnamon stick. 1 cinnamon stick. And then petals from a flower. You're traditionally supposed to use roses because roses are all about love. Because mine was for a soulmate. I just used little daisies, little daisy petals. And then fill it with good old pure and simple honey. And then pop your lid on. Pop your lid and date it. I'm trying to turn it. There we go. And date it. It's that simple. Truly, it's that simple. And it's a fun activity. I have 4 or 5 of these going at a time. I have 1 for love, 1 for healing, because yeah, there's a lot of healing I need to do before my soulmate can manifest in my life. I have 1 for my business, my career, 1 for my dad, just for my dad. I can't even describe it. I'm going to cry now. 1 for my intuition, because I wanted to increase my intuitive ability. So I asked the universe to help me with that. So don't be afraid to be specific to the universe with what you want. Hi, Denise. How are you? Denise, did you get that ring on your finger yet? Because I see that coming. Denise Simone, I see that coming. I see that by December. Just to be clear, I'm happy for you, girl. I know you're an avid writer, and this is more rhetorical, so you don't need to answer to me, but it's almost like the angels are saying, why are you not writing a book? Because you're so eloquent and so articulate with your writing. So I will leave you with that. Bonnie, do you have a good spirit with you? Of course, we all have good spirits. Here's the thing. Society wants us to believe there are bad spirits and good spirits. That is true. We know that. We know that there are good people and there are bad people. The thing is, you have to decide if you want a bad spirit to be around you. It's all about perception. It's all about your thinking. If you think a bad spirit's around you, you're going to believe it. So I personally don't believe that bad spirits attach to us. That's just my personal thoughts. It's my own belief system. Anybody who believes differently, I would never knock them. But I just feel that we all have good spirits and angels protecting us. But I also believe fools don't go where angels fear to tread. So I'm not going to go to an area where there's crime being done, or I'm not going to put myself in a situation where there's drugs. I mean, you kind of get the idea. As it's written, fools don't go where angels fear to tread. So to answer your question, Bonnie, I do feel like you are protected by the Archangel Michael, but I also feel like you're sensible and you don't attract and keep bad spirits around you. Margarita, I think it'll be a good move if you decide to move, but I feel like you have to kind of think about it first and not just do it impulsively. Make sure you look at the contracts because, again, we're coming up. We've got 2 planets in retrograde, and Mercury itself is getting ready to go in retrograde. So always, always, always at this period of time, make sure you look at contracts. And Rose is asking, you lost someone very special a couple of years ago and would like to know if he is with you. Rose, I have to almost do this. I don't know if you're going to get this, but I feel like I have to do this. This person who you lost, I feel like he was a man, and I feel like he was almost like a brother or brother-like. And because of that, I want to go like this, so bear with me. Okay? I don't know what that means. I feel like it was something he used to do with his eyebrows or something maybe he used to tease you about with your eyebrows. But yes, of course he's with you 100% of the time. I don't know what it is about baseball, but he's also referencing baseball. So hit me up, DM me if you want more information. I do believe he's with you 100% of the time. Beverly, good, yes. If your local community college does offer classes in financials, you could go that route, Beverly, with your community college, but that's going to be expensive. I would recommend if your high school offers community classes, because a lot of high schools will offer adult classes at nighttime, particularly in the spring and in the fall. And it's usually like an 8-week session. So try your high school first. Just give your high school a call and say, do you offer adult evening classes? And they're usually community classes. It'll be a lot cheaper than going to college. Just a thought. Kimberly, you would love a reading for spiritual awakening and health for you and family. Of course, of course. Dee, hi Dee. Brian, hi Brian, thank you. Hazel Glow. Oh, you're in Philly as well. Fantastic. Hi, Virginia. Let's see. Virginia, what do you want to know? Virginia Diaz, I have to almost ask you. I don't know if I can say this out loud. But I feel like you're getting another addition to the family. Let's put it that way. And I don't know if I should say any more, because we're live, but we'll just leave it at that. And if you want to DM me, I'll give you more information. Hi, Chelsea. How are you? Namaste to you as well. Chelsea, I feel like you're very intuitive, and I feel like you play with cards. Why aren't you developing that? Because I feel like you could be doing really big with that. And Chelsea, I want to tell you, I feel like the Archangel Michael's around you. Luna, I love your name. I love Luna. It's all about the moon. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Stormy. Hello, Trish. Hello, Judy. So let's recap because I see it's 10:23. Let's recap what we talked about tonight. Now, just a refresher. Next Thursday, I'm going to be in Sedona, Arizona. So if you are in the Arizona area, Sedona specifically, hit me up. I'm going to be hitting the vortexes, so we'll see about the energies. Tonight we talked about our homework. 3 weeks ago we talked about keeping a notepad by your bedside. Before you get out of bed in the morning, write down 3 things and 3 predictions that you think are going to happen for the day. And pretty much that night, each night and every night, I want you to pretty much check off which predictions happened. You're not going to get many check marks for the first week or 2 weeks. Don't get discouraged. Every artist didn't become famous in the first 1 or 2 tries. Picking a partner who you can do this with pretty regularly, where you think of numbers between 1 and 10 and you kind of mentally telepathy pass that number to that person and then they try to guess that number. Okay, how did that work out for you? This week, I want you for homework to take an envelope. Has to be a privacy envelope, sorry. It has to be something so you can't cheat. No cheater, pumpkin eaters. And then take shapes, basic shapes. I have a square, I have a rectangle, a really bad triangle, and a heart. And have your same partner or a different partner put one of those in the envelope. So you don't know what's in the envelope, and then you have to guess what's in the envelope, okay? And I want you to work on that for the next week, because that will also strengthen and hone in your psychic abilities. We also talked about the two figurines that we're selling. I also sell on Amazon, Etsy, BigCommerce, and I sell direct via my website, which is angelreadingsbykimba.com. I try to streamline everything to angelreadingsbykimba.com because this way it's easy to remember. So here is our flowering Grace. She is 12 inches tall. I'm going to back up so you can fully see her. She's 12 inches tall. She's beautiful. She's got butterfly wings, and she's praying. She's surprisingly light. A lot of people ask me, oh, come on, tell us the truth. What's the bad thing about your products? I wouldn't say there's anything bad about her, but her wings are very delicate. So if you have any kids, any young children, this is not the type of figurine that you would want to keep at their level. So this is Flowering Grace. She's $13.99, and she's 12 inches tall. And then I have Nature's I think the other one was Nature's Blessing, I'm sorry, and she's 10 inches. She's just beautiful. She's holding a bouquet of flowers, and she has the same butterfly wings. Just going to lightly spin her. So again, the wings are beautiful. It's a beautiful figurine, but the wings are very delicate. So if you have big dogs or if you have young kids, both of these figurines you want to make sure that you have kind of up high. They're two of my favorites. We talked about honey jars. Do I need to go over them again? Are you guys comfortable with honey jars? You're okay with them? Okay, so you can make these on your own. I'm not going to sell them because I don't feel that it's something I need to basically sell. It's something you can make, and it's easy, it's simple, and it's personal. Mine is a soulmate attraction honey jar, and with the full moon coming up, now is the time to do it. Don't forget to date it. So when your intention, whatever it is you're asking the universe for, comes forward or manifests, as we call it in the mediumship psychic world, make sure you thank the universe for it. That's why we date it. We did some readings, and we talked about the difference between mediums and psychics. So that pretty much is tonight's live Facebook. I don't know what you call this, a podcast, a show. Oh, before I forget, we actually launched on YouTube. So I'm also on YouTube. So slowly and surely, inch by inch, I'm kind of creeping. You know, if I could sing, I'd sing for you, but it's almost like 10:30 at night, and you guys are probably like, oh, good gravy, she's now trying to sing. No, I won't. I'll spare you that. But if you ever have any questions, if there's anything you're not sure of, if you want to know how to do the honey jar, I'll be more than happy to put it on my Facebook wall, because I'm here to help you and serve you. So again, the 23rd, which is next Thursday through Memorial Day, I will be in Sedona, Arizona. So I'm coming to you, Arizona, and I'm going to hit the vortexes. So if you're in Arizona and you want to hit the vortexes with us, give us a call. Or if you want a reading, because we'll be out in Arizona again, give us a call. It's been a good night. I wish you all love and light, and in today's day and age, be kind to each other. It's hard. We're human, but it's not impossible. So have a good night, everyone. Love and light. Take care. Bye-bye.